It's Friday night. That means it's Prediction Friday. We got a game on Monday, not Sunday. But hey, nothing changes here. We got to talk about the game. I'm excited. I hope you guys are today. Happy Friday. Let's get it. What is up, everybody? How's it going? Debbie, how's it going? Steve-O, Christy Marie, how the heck is everybody doing? It's Friday, and I couldn't be more excited for this week. Monday Night Football coming up. 49ers, Cardinals. I feel like this team is about to ready to go on a run, and I just can't wait for Monday. It's going to be a long weekend waiting. Sunday, not having a game. You're itching all day, waiting for Monday night. Forget about waiting for Sunday night. I'm going to be waiting all day for Monday night, but man, I'm excited. It's fun to get the spotlight of the week because everybody gets it's all eyes on you. It's a good thing when you do good and everybody's like, oh man, you're in the spotlight. If you do good, everybody's gonna remember that. But if you do bad, it's not a good thing at all. So the Niners need to come out and play well and dominate. And we're gonna be in the big spotlight, so we have to win. What's up, Daco? What's up, 49er Ben? What's up, Alberto Soto? What's up, Val? What's up, Steve-O? I'm telling you, I'm excited. And you know what? There was some really good news today. Samson Ebukam, who's been dealing with the quad injury and Achilles injury, he came back to practice today. That is big news for the 49ers defensive line. I know they've been kind of banged up, Armstead and Kinlaw and Ebukam. It's a big return. Last week, the 49ers got Jordan Willis, and he was really nice in the D-line. Ebukam, I think he's been very underrated this year. 29 tackles, 3.5 sacks. He's been quietly putting together a very underrated season. So definitely nice to know that he's back. Obviously, tomorrow's going to be the last practice of the week, and they're going to determine game statuses for Monday night. So I'm pretty sure Samson Ebukam will play, but we'll see. We'll see how practice is tomorrow, and we'll get the final game report coming into Monday. So it is great news that Samson Ebukam is back because I feel like as this team continues to get stronger, they're going to be harder to beat. They need to get all hands on deck. And again, other teams are starting to fall apart. They're starting to get hurt. And the Niners are getting healthy at the right time, and that's always good. So Warner's cleats for Mexico, says Christy Marie. Did you see those things? They posted them up on NFL Mexico page. I reposted it. Man, those things are phenomenal. And, Fred Warner, he's of Mexican heritage, so I'm sure he's going to be hyped up for this game. They gave him the Mexico cleats, and he's ready to roll, man. I think this is going to be a vibe, this game. Like, I feel like the crowd is going to be insane. You saw the Germany crowd, and they were hyped up. They were chanting. They were, doing their little, like, German chants and hyped up. I feel like that's how the crowd's going to be for Mexico because they love sports just in general. If you guys watch, the previous games, international games, these fans, they get hyped up. And the Mexico, there's going to be 82% fans represented by the 49ers. So that's going to be Niner fans rocking. There's going to be chants. I'm telling you, it's going to be like a big soccer game out there. It's going to be a vibe. I'm hyped up for this game. It's going to be fun times. It's going to be a nice game. And I think that kind of energy is going to be what helps the Niners win. Now, again, do I think Arizona is going to be an easy matchup? No. I think it's going to be a tough game because it is an NFC West division opponent. They're coming in 4 wins. This is a must-win game. They have to win this game. This is a get-right game for them. They have to be able to bounce back. The 49ers, though, this is a game that if they win, boom, back-to-back wins. Boom. After the bye, back-to-back wins after the bye. That's 3 straight games they won, and it's good momentum builder. And then they got the Saints, and then you start stacking those wins. This is a game that can really springboard the 49ers into a deep run into the postseason. So I honestly feel like this is a game that the Niners are going to take and really build themselves. And you got prime time spotlight, right? Big time players make big time plays. Debo, CMC, Kittle, Aiyuk, Elijah Mitchell last week was unbelievable, and he's only going to get better. As that was his first game back after an MCL sprain. So I expect Elijah Mitchell to be even better. And, Shanahan's going to figure out how all these players are going to be integrated into this offense. So very nice to see. I feel like this is just a game where everything's going to start coming together. I think they're going to drop at least 30 points. That's what I'm going to tell you off the bat. And then the defense, right? Nick Bosa had a really good game last week, Sunday Night Football spotlight game. He's going to have another big game, and I think he's going to be the key. Nick Bosa has to be able to get that pressure. I don't know who's going to play quarterback right now for the Cardinals. It's going to be either Colt McCoy, Kyler Murray. There's no official word, but whoever it is, Nick Bosa's got to go out there and eat. And it's a primetime game, so the better Nick Bosa does, the better it is for him, right? Because we all love Nick Bosa. We all think he should be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. Unfortunately, the NFL doesn't always give him that love, that the credit he deserves. But if he goes out there and has a masterclass game on Monday night, he's going to be the last person everybody remembers of the week, and that's going to kind of stick in their mind. So if Nick Bosa goes out there and hangs another big-time game, it's going to be well for them. And then you got Fred Warner. I think Fred Warner is going to have a massive game going into this game because, the Mexico vibes. I just think that he's kind of been playing some really good football lately, and it's going to carry over. I think these guys are starting to kind of get everything revved up, and it's going in the right way. So let's see what happens. Boom. Tough Acton. Bryant Culp says, I think we win a shootout. I don't know. I think the Niners are going to – I think initially Arizona will keep up with us. They got some receivers. They got more. Hollywood Brown's coming back. DeAndre Hopkins is dealing with the hamstring issue, but I don't know if he's going to play or not. He's played in the past dealing with hamstring issues, not practicing, so we'll see. I think they'll try to kind of they'll keep pace. And they got J.J. Watt, who's still a damn good player no matter what. They got some players on that team, but I feel the Niners just going to put it together. There's going to be too many weapons, and I think that they're going to beat them by at least a touchdown. At least a touchdown. But I also feel the energy in there. They're going to get a big turnover, and it's going to shift the tide of the game. I just can see the Niners going out there and winning this game pretty handedly. I think initially it's going to be like a tough game, but I feel like they're going to make those adjustments. The Niners have made adjustments these last 2 weeks, and that is what I feel is going to kind of springboard them in that second half. I think they'll make those D'Amico Ryans adjustments that he's been doing, and they're going to stymie the Cardinals. The Cardinals, again, this is a must-win game, but I feel like the Niners they have too much momentum, too much talent to go out there and lay an egg. And again, the energy from the crowd is going to really propel the Niners. So we'll see. Bryant Culp says 34-27. Oh, that would be a fun game. It'd be a fun game in Mexico. 34-27. We'll see. The Niners 0-1 in Mexico. The last time the Niners played in Mexico, they lost to the Cardinals, 2005. Posted that today. So a couple things, though, that work in the Niners' favor. The Cardinals' red zone defense is basically the fifth worst in the NFL, right? They're the fifth worst. They've given up a touchdown on 67.5% of red zone trips, according to I got this tweet from Akash, right? We know Akash on Twitter out there. He tweeted out that the red zone defense of the Cardinals is giving up a touchdown on 67.5% of their trips. That's the fifth worst in the NFL, right? If the 49ers can kind of go out there and get to the red zone where they've struggled and score against the Cardinals, that's going to start putting some momentum in their head. This is a game where I feel like the Niners are going to start putting points on the board because of that fact. Cardinals are not a really good red zone defense. 49ers, they haven't been good in the red zone, but this is the perfect medicine, a game that can really springboard. I mean, you got a lot of players, right? You got Debo and CMC. I think Kyle's going to figure it out. And I got George Kittle. I think he's going to have a big game because he said, there was an interview this week and they asked him about having one target, and he goes, I would love to have more than one target. He wants the ball. George Kittle definitely wants the ball. Now I know that he's a great blocker, but he's also a good receiver. I got to see my boy George Kittle go off. I'm predicting George Kittle has a big game. I predicted Brandon Aiyuk last week has a big game. Pretty much did, other than that drop. I got Kittle going off in this game. I think he's going for 2 touchdowns in Mexico. Viva la Kittle going off, dude. Lucha Kittle is going to go crazy. He's going to have the mask. I'm excited. I think Kittle goes crazy. Let's get to some more of these comments. This would be the best game for Warner to get a pick. Hey, I love it. I would love to see Warner, in Mexico getting a pick. especially if it's Kyler, I would go crazy. George, Fred Warner is absolutely phenomenal in coverage. He's been one of the better coverage linebackers in the league lately, and I could feel it. I feel like it's brewing. You could kind of sense it. You could kind of feel it. Like this might be a game that Warner gets that interception. What's up, Shades? He says you were mentioned in Grant's show today. He's looking forward. Hey, I DM'd him. Tell him to check his DMs. I DM'd him. Maybe I'll email him. I've been trying to get a hold of Grant. He's a busy man. I'm a busy man too, but I appreciate that. I hope he wants to do a collab with me. Tell Grant, come knock on my door. Come and knock on my door. We'll hit him up. I DM'd him. I'll email him. Tell him to slide in my DMs on Instagram. We'll get it going. George Kittle, Steve O says, we'll have 100+ yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 pancakes. That sounds about good. That sounds about right. Can you imagine? 2 touchdowns, 3 pancakes, 100 yards. I like it. I love it. Ryan McDonald says, am I the only one who thinks Jalen Moore should start at right tackle? And you might be. I'm not sold on Jalen Moore. I don't think he's that. I don't know if he's better than Mike McGlinchey at right tackle. Like, I know Mike McGlinchey is not everybody's favorite player, but I don't think Jalen Moore is better. I think he'd still be at the same issue. It's a wash at that point. So at least you give Mike McGlinchey the opportunity to put game on film because he's chasing a check. He is in a he's in a contract year, right? So he's in a contract year, and because of that, they're going to give him the opportunity to go out there and try his best. So we'll see what happens with that situation. But he is definitely the weakest link out there. But we got a couple more games. Maybe he'll step it up and turn it up and make us all eat crow. That's what I'm hoping for. Another stat I saw out there this week with the Cardinals and 49ers. So the 49ers obviously are the number one yak offense. Of course, the Yak brothers. They got Kittle and Debo and everybody. They're the Yak Kings. They average 6.9 yards per reception on yak. Now, the Cardinals are 32nd in yak per reception allowed, 6.2 yards. So all we got to do, we're going to definitely got to run the ball. That's the key to every game. Get the ball to your playmakers. Get the ball to CMC. Get the ball to Debo. Let them yak it up. They're going to go crazy on Arizona. I can already feel it. I feel like you're going to see like a little screen pass, a little dump off pass to CMC, and he's going to scamper for like 20, 30 yards. You're going to see the Debo little boom dump off play. 5 yards, 10 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards, 50 yards. Oh, my God, Debo. That's what I feel is going to happen. I think the Niners are going to come in, and they're just going to screen them to death, and then they're going to go out there and then run the ball. They're going to run them down their mouth, and then they're screen them to death, and then they're going to play action them. And then in the red zone, I feel George Kittle's going to come over the top. That's what my game plan is if I'm the Niners, and I think that's what's going to happen this week. Monique is excited for I'm hyped up. I'm hyped up. Try the kid out. Ryan, it's not a bad thing. Should we try him? Yeah. I mean, give him an opportunity, right? Give him an opportunity. I mean, because you're right. He can't be any worse, right? And I get the topic is, can he be any worse than Mike? No. But I don't know. I don't know if he's any better. Again, I just don't see it. I know Mike's a big liability, and everybody hates him right now. But maybe he just needs some mental clarity. If you bench him, he's done. Mentally, he's done. I feel a lot of what Mike's going through is just mental, man. He's coming in. He had the injury year. He has a contract year, and he's got a lot of people when he opens up the Bird app hating him. So I think it's mental. It is tough. It is frustrating, and I get it. I see the fans. We all wanted, a quick fix. We want that quick fix. But what if you put in another guy and he's worse? Then you go back to Mike, right? And you just screwed him up mentally because you took him out. So I feel like it's kind of a double-edged sword. Okay, yeah, you could take Mike out and put somebody else. But if the other guy sucks and is worse, and then you're going to go back to Mike, he's going to be pissed off because, hey, you took him off because you didn't believe in him. So you see what I'm saying? That, like, it's a double-edged sword. I get what you're saying. We do need to kind of fix that spot. But I don't think it's a quick fix overnight. I don't. I think it's going to be a long-term kind of issue there. It's something they're going to have to address in the offseason. That's the way I look at it. So Moore was a 5th rounder. I get it. I just don't see him being a good tackle. But that's my opinion. You never know. Maybe they put him out there, and he's legend, and I'm wrong, and we're all happy. You never know. You never know. But I'm gonna say this. I'll probably take some heat. I think he's the best option at right tackle we have right now. I think he is. I know everybody hates him. We don't want him. I think he's the best option we have at right tackle right now. Right now. Came into the season with a torn quad. Like I said it going into this offseason, that this was a nasty injury. And I told everybody, I said, it's not going to be a good injury. I don't think people understand like how tough it is to rehab from a torn quad. Like I've rehabbed patients from this. It's a tough injury. Mentally, it's a grind, man. Like the biggest issue with any injury is the mental aspect. You know, they don't tell you that. But because people aren't going to tell you that, oh, yeah, I'm mentally struggling, because you're going to come off soft. And in this day and age, in this society, people will call you out, oh, you're a soft mofo. So he's going to try to hide it in. And then, but the problem is he's going to go out there and he's going to get attacked on social media. And then now people are saying he sucks, and he probably sees it and he internalizes it. And he's mentally even more debilitated. Like it's okay. You're coming off an injury. You already know that it's going to be hard to recover. And are you ever going to be the same guy? You know you're trying to struggle through the injury, and then you go out there and you play and you suck, right? Or people think you're a liability, which we've called them out. You go on social media. You can't escape social media. You see it, and you see people just ripping you apart, and it's even more mentally depressing. So it's tough, and you internalize it. You're not going to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, I'm stressed out," because if you do, people are going to say you're soft. So it's a tough situation to be in, man. It's a tough situation to be in. I agree, Nick. It's not an easy position. He's got experience. But you know what, though? I got to say this. He is a good run blocker. Let's give him his credit where credit is due. He is a good run blocker. But pass protection, we all know he's not the best pass protector. We know he isn't. And I get it. He was a first round, a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. A top 10 pick in the NFL draft. Let's say it. I say it softly sometimes. I like to give it a little bit dramatic effect. A top 10 pick in the NFL draft. I like saying it like that because it makes it more dramatic. And he's not living up to top 10 pick status. And I get it. Fans are pissed, as you should be. I'm not going to tell you not to be mad. I'm not going to tell you to be upset because he is a top 10 pick. And I talk about it every day. But I see it from a different standpoint because of my career path. So I sympathize with these guys a little bit more. A little bit more than most people. I'm a little sympathetic, I guess. Nick says Solomon Thomas, man. Oh, no, that one hurts too, man. That one was rough because they had options. I don't think they could have. I don't think you build your team around a defensive tackle that you're going to move to defensive end, trying to be this Leo guy. They had a lot of quarterbacks on the board, a lot of good players on the board. So I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Appreciate your Real Room Service. I appreciate it. What's up, my boys? Real Room Service podcast. Appreciate the love on the sweater. I always get love on this hoodie when I wear it. It's like probably the coolest one I got. Everybody loves it. So appreciate y'all for the love on that. Jair Villanueva says currently the Dolphins are winning the trade of the Trey Lance. Yeah, you took Trey Lance. All right. You turned him into Tyreek Hill, Waddle, and Bradley Chubb. That's a dub. It's a dub. It's a dub. This is a good question right here. I was getting to this, and you segued me perfect, Zay. Look at that. Home run transition there. Does Byron Murphy hold Brandon Aiyuk under 80 yards? It's a good question. Brandon Aiyuk has had 80 yards for 4 straight games with at least 6 catches. Him and Jimmy Garoppolo have been getting great chemistry, and I think Brandon Aiyuk is going to continue to go up that trajectory. And you can tell he was so mad that he dropped that pass in the red zone last week. Oh, man, he routed that guy so. Like I watched that play when I'm feeling bad now, and I look at it, I'm like, oh, look how bad he did that cornerback, and then I just stop it because I don't want to see the rest. I just see how good he shakes the cornerback, and I'm like so happy. I think Brandon Aiyuk's getting 100 yards this game. This is going to be his 100-yard game. Byron Murphy, ain't going to happen. He's not going to step him up. I think Brandon Aiyuk goes 100 yards this week. This is the week. 100 yards, Brandon Aiyuk. 1 tutty. That's it. I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to get 100 yards. He's like close. He's been close to it. I think this is the week he goes for 100%. He's so good, man. He's such a good route runner, you know? It's just fun to see him grow. The progression Brandon Aiyuk has made has been really good. it's been really fun to watch. Rookie season, we saw him. He was doing those jet sweeps, and he was kind of that extra wide receiver that you're like, okay, he's nice. He's taking pressure off his team. He's adding something. And he was kind of a go-to guy at points in the time of the season, a great rookie season. Then last year, he did start a little tough. He had the hamstring. He kind of came out the gates a little slow. We had high expectations. We overhyped him maybe. And Shanahan basically doghoused him. And he made him work. He says, you're good, but you're not good enough. You're good, but you're not good enough. And now Brandon Aiyuk's put in all the work. And you can see all the work he's put in is coming to fruition, man. And it's great to see him being the number one receiver, right? He's the most consistent player on this team on offense. And to me, he's wide receiver one on this team. So shout out to BA. I think he goes for 100 yards. It's not going to be an easy matchup. Murphy's got, he's got some skills, but I think BA, he's going to route him up. I want to see him route him up. Just one of those little, oh, you okay? Oh, call an ambulance. Brandon Aiyuk has just committed a murder. A murder. I want to see him murder Murphy. This guy, sometimes he just murders these guys on the field. Call the ambulance. Call the ambulance. What's up, Mariah? I think Mariah, I know she messaged me yesterday. She's got like a promotion or something she wanted to tell me about. Let me pull up. Let me see what it is. Because I think she's doing a fundraiser. Let me take a look here. Let me see. I'll plug it up real quick. Maybe it's the wrong person. Let me see. Is it the same person? It's a different person. I'll talk about it a little later. But you thought I hit my dog on accident? I don't have a dog. Can't have a dog in these apartments. My daughter would love to have a dog. Brendan says, I think BA has better route running than Debo. He's the most complete receiver on this team. He does have the best route running on this team. His route tree is filthy. So let me get your guys' thoughts. I want to have you drop your score predictions now. We'll take a little score predictions here. See what you guys are thinking on this game. Give me some hot takes on this game. I think the Niners are going to win this game. They're going to score at least 30 points. I feel Kittle's going to have at least one touchdown, and I think they're going to run all over him. So good stuff. I'm just so excited for this team, for these Niners, man. And you know what's funny? All week we've been talking about Trent Williams tipping plays, right? Tipping. Make sure you tip your waiter and waitress. They talked about it today, and I guess this is what Trent Williams said. I got this. So this is what Cam Inman, my man, Cam the man. He did talk about it. He did tweet it. So this is what Trent Williams said in response to tipping plays. I want to bring this up. He called it. I laughed at the tweet because he said social media bandits. So Trent Williams on the social media bandits saying that he tips the run plays with the stance. He goes, this is what Trent Williams says. He says it's pretty nonsense. If you just think football is as simple as knowing it's a run or a pass, you dismiss the knowledge you have to compete at a high level. He says, just because you know it's a run, you don't know what type of run. We just installed 50 runs with 6 looks on each run. If that was the end all be all, it'd be a big deal. Since it's not, it's only a discussion on social media and not here. Wow. So again, he's basically saying that, yeah, you can know if it's a run play. Like, okay, I'm going to be in the stance. It's a run play. But which run out of all the 5,000 run plays we have? So I get his point. I get his point. And again, to his credit, he's been a guy that been doing that for years, and he hasn't been stopped. So for him, yeah, you can't stop Trent. You got to be able to stop him regardless. The other important note on this. So they asked the special teams or the offensive line coach. So the offensive line coach did talk about it as well. Let me pull up that little information. So the 49ers offensive line coach says that Trent Williams does tip plays, and they're trying to work on this. So I know it's something that it may not be big in the grand scheme of things, and I know Trent Williams probably doesn't think it matters because, again, he's right. If you tip a play, you still have to figure out what the heck they're going to do. Even if you know it's a run play, there's a lot of run plays, but I still think it gives them a slight advantage because you're going to know, okay, if it's a run play, you may not know the exact run play or where it's going. You can still kind of put your line in a certain position, and maybe that one play can help stop a giant play down at the end. If you know it's a run, you can look for certain nuances. People, you study film. And again, it may impact the rest of the team. It may impact like his teammates because Trent, it's not going to impact Trent. He's always going to be in his certain stance. That's just the way he goes. I think it does have a small impact on the whole team in the general sense, in the long term. If it's a game where they have a lot of time to prep for, it may have an impact, but not necessarily immediately every single play. But I think it can give like the linebackers a little bit of an advantage, the DBs especially, because they know where to shift a little bit. So I still think it gives them a little bit of an advantage, but not as big as, some may think. But in the long run, again, if it's like a game, Super Bowl game, playoff game, you got a little bit more time to, crush the film and stuff and kind of game plan. It might give them a little bit more of an advantage. So, yeah, Brian, I like that. He says, basically what you got to do about it if you still have to play the ball. So, and to Trent's credit, and this is what the other argument of the week has been is, yeah, okay, you might know the play, stop me. You know the play, you know what kind of play it is, but you still can't stop me. You know what I mean? So regardless, whether you think it's a run or a pass, you still got to go out and play football. So it's not the biggest, advantage in the world because at the end of the day, you still got to go stop and try to move Trent Williams. That's a bad mamma jamma. It's hard to stop Trent Williams. He could tell. I bet you if Trent Williams told you straight up, this is the exact play, this is what's going to happen, stop me. He still can't stop him because he's a beast. So at the end of the day, it don't matter. Trent Williams is still a dog. Trent is a beast, Monique. Cam says, do you think CMC or Eli will have more rush yards? Oh, that's a good question. Y'all in the chat, drop your answers. Who do you think is going to have a better game, CMC or Elijah Mitchell? Now, I know everybody's – man, Elijah Mitchell had a good game. So I'm going to take Elijah to have more rush yards because he's going to get more, I think, rushing attempts and more rushing plays. But I think CMC could have more all-purpose yards because he's going to get passes. He's going to rush. He's not just going to rush the ball. He's going to get those little dump-off plays, And again, he's that check-down option for Jimmy. And Jimmy loves to throw down in the flats and check those screens out. So I think CMC might have more all-purpose yards. But in terms of rush, just pure rush yards, I'm going Elijah Mitchell. That's a good question, though. That is a good question. That's a great question. Let me take a look at your guys' scores. Social media bandits. Gotta love it. Took me out. Okay, so we got Brandon Murphy says 31-14. Ryan McDonald says 8 receptions, 114 yards, and a touchdown for a BA. That would be a solid stat line. Torrey Scott, 28-17. Shades, my man Shades by Shardall says 31-19. Zay says 24-10. I like these scores. 27-12 by Marcos. Showboat, Niners win 30-17. Monique says 32-18. I love it. Jair says Jimmy will throw 300 yards and we win 30-14. Ooh, I like it. If Jimmy goes for 300 yards and Jimmy cooks, haters are gonna be upset, man. I want to see Jimmy do well. He's played well against them in the past. You remember Halloween night? What do you have? 4 touchdowns against them Halloween night a couple of years back, and then he told Aaron Andrews the all-time famous quote. Say it with me. Feels great, baby. He told her that on Halloween night after he dog-walked the Cardinals. I remember that game because freaking Dante Pettis scored a touchdown and he did his little thriller. I was just like, oh, come on, my guy. I think at that time people still kind of was hoping Dante would be good, but it didn't happen. Christy Marie says 14-31 Niners. Let's get it. Ryan says 37-13 Niners. Mark B, 32-7. That's a beatdown, man. Let's go, Mark. Let's get it. Let's go. Randy says we have issues with bird teams. We kind of do, don't we? That's a true statement. We kind of do have issues with bird teams. Falcons, they always give us problems. Lost to them. Cardinals always give us problems. They beat us with Colt McCoy before. The Seahawks, they give us problems. That's a true statement. Good night, Sally. We might struggle to beat these birds, but I hope we don't. But that's a good point. The Niners just don't play bird teams. Hey, Peter Parker, my man. He says that man ain't allowed in the chat, Rod. Pettis, man. I want to draw. I guess we're going to talk about Dante Pettis tonight. How are we doing this? But he had potential. That first year, he looked good. His routes were nice. He just didn't take that second step. He didn't go in there and work as hard as Brandon Aiyuk, because he was in the doghouse too. Brandon Aiyuk figured out how to break out of the doghouse. He was in a kennel, bro, but he figured out you got to go out there and work and do the small things. You got to go out and block. Dante Pettis didn't want to block. He didn't want to work. He just was okay with being out there. There was an interview. I believe it was Tracy Sandler. I remember she interviewed him once. This is the video that got me blocked by the guy. I didn't say anything, but I posted the video. So Tracy Sandler, you're back from injury. This is what are your expectations for this season? Do you think you're going to be a top, 10 receiver? And he goes, no, I don't aspire to have those goals. I just want to be. He says, I'm just happy to be playing the game. And everybody on the post was like, oh, he just doesn't have that dog in him. He doesn't care about being good. He's just happy to be playing. Oh, he's born with the silver spoon. Obviously, I didn't say anything. There's like comments on the post. And I remember he blocked me after that because he was probably tired of people. And people tagged him. He was tired of it because, he saw all the negativity on the page. So he blocked me. My buddy, who knows all the players, my boy Moose, they were at a party in Vegas. And then he was like, yo, all the players are here. The receivers are here. Da, da, da. I was like, hey, is Pettis there? He goes, yeah, it's so random. He goes, I told him, I was like, have him unblock me. And he was like, Pettis blocked you? He goes, I know all the players follow you. I go, not Pettis. Tell him to unblock me. Morning, I guess he had a chat with the boy. I checked my page. Oh, look, I can see Dante Pettis' post again. I'm followed by him. Now check this. I know he didn't like my page, or he probably hated the Niner fans because, I'm one of the biggest pages. And he saw the hate because people would comment on him. So the day he left the team, the day he got cut and he signed with the Giants, I checked my Instagram on Dante Pettis' page, blocked. And I was like, bro, homie didn't even wait once. He didn't even wait a day. He was like, this man went to my page, blocked me on Instagram because he didn't like the faithful fans. I'm telling you. He blocked me. So to this day, Dante, you don't deserve any respect. You blocked me. And I was, you know what? It's crazy because you guys know I was a big Dante Pettis. Like, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I was positive with the guy. And this man had the audacity. Let's check it out. Look. He doesn't he doesn't pop up for me. The man blocked me. I never said a mean thing about him. Unbelievable. Yeah. Oh my God, he sucked. He sucked, man. I hope he sees that. Someone's gonna tag me. Oh man, but anyways, yeah, that's it. It is what it is. How are the Cardinals' injuries? This is a good question. Let's talk about the Cardinals' injuries. Let's pull that up. So we are previewing the game. Let's talk about it. Injury report. So I know. Let's see. DeAndre Hopkins is dealing with. Here we go. Let me pull up the Cardinals. Friday's injury report. Here we go. Okay. There we go. Budda Baker was limited today. He did not practice yesterday. Budda Baker was limited today. He has an ankle injury. Zach Ertz, he's out for the season, so obviously he didn't practice. DeAndre Hopkins was limited today. He was limited in practice. DJ Humphries, he's an offensive lineman who has a back injury. He did not practice. Byron Murphy, who has a back injury. He did not practice. Oh, Marcus Golden, linebacker, he was practicing. He had an illness this week. Colt McCoy, he has a knee issue. He practiced in full today. Kyler Murray, who has a hamstring issue, he was limited in practice today. And the kicker, Matt Prater, who has a right hip issue, practiced in full today. Man, they got some injuries. They got a lot of players that are hurt. So Budda Baker limited. DeAndre Hopkins limited. Byron Murphy didn't practice. Kyler Murray limited. They're going to be limited against us. Let's see. Niners, here's our injury report, just in case you're coming in. So Arik Armstead did not practice today. I don't expect him to play. Samson Ebukam, he's dealing with the quadriceps and Achilles injury. He's came back today on a limited basis. Charvarius Ward did not practice for the second day. It's a personal issue from what the reports are saying. Hopefully everything's good with Charvarius out there. That's my guy. Maybe I'll hit him up, DM him tonight, and just say, hope everything's all right. That's my guy, man. Trent Williams, he had a vet day off. They let him rest. And Nick Bosa, they let him rest. And Danny Gray, wide receiver, ankle, full practice. Well, look at that. I just got a notification. Arizona practice report. Yep. So from Tracy Sandler. Limited, Buda Baker, Max Garcia, DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, just like we said. So I'm still here, Buddha. I'm still here, Buddha. You remember that play? Remember when Kittle stiff-armed him? I'm still here, Buddha. I want to see Buddha play. Him and Kittle are they got a lot of respect for each other. I respect Buddha. You know, some players just got respect for him. Good player. All right, Ryan, I'll see what I can do. Marco says, with those injuries, we should be able to win. We should. There should be no excuses. Now, I know the Niners, they should win this game, but it's a back-against-the-wall type game. Cardinals are going to come out swinging. So, Quentin Patton blocked you. Quentin Patton was dope, man. Colt McCoy. David Villa says, what up, faithfuls? Let's go win this game in Mexico, amigos. Let's get it, baby. Mariah says, one of the first things he did was block. That, isn't it, like, going back to that, Mariah, like, isn't it crazy one of the first things this man did when he got a new job somewhere was block my Niner page? Like, he made it a thing to do, like, rent-free, bro. Rent-free. That's funny. That's too funny, man. The only thing stopping the Niners are themselves. I agree. Again, we've talked about this all year, that the Niners shoot themselves in the foot. When they lose, it's because of self-inflicted wounds. I can't talk. They shoot themselves in the foot. You make stupid turnovers. You make dumb plays. You got to clean it up. And I think, again, what I was saying earlier is I think they're going to get on the path to winning the game. Run the ball. Give your playmakers the ability to use your yak yards. Again, we talked about Arizona. They're 32 in yards after catch, yak after catch. And the Niners are the top team in yak. That's all I'm going to say. The Niners should be able to just utilize their little yak offense, dump off, run. And I think they're going to rope them up. So I can't wait. Niner gang, Wolfcast, what's good, my man? Keep grinding. Good to see you on the chat. Good to see you tapping in. Good to see everybody out there tapping in. Hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe, all that good stuff. Can't believe I'm saying that these days. Hit that like button. I remember when I used to first watch YouTube people. Hit that like button. It's like a robot, but you got to hit that like button. Please. Let Jimmy G rip it. Just let him rip. I want to see more of that kind of Ray McDonald pass. Ray McLeod pass. Oh my God. I'm still shook at how he threw that pass to McLeod. Like, that was amazing. Let Jimmy get some more of those plays. I mean, not a lot, but integrate those more because they're not going to see it coming. If the defense isn't going to see Jimmy G throwing that stuff, but if you start adding it more, they're going to start respecting it. Okay, he can throw that deep sideline pass. They were running the ball all over us. Oh, crap, here comes Kittle. Oh, God, here comes CMC. You know, so if they can integrate that a little bit more, it's going to make them more dangerous. So, yeah, that pass was phenomenal, man. You know, this is a true statement. He's been playing better since the surgery and new quarterback coach. Those are the two things that have changed this year. New quarterback coach, and he had a shoulder surgery. And he's been playing a lot better. I mean, he's not perfect. Game manager still, but if he can limit those mistakes, man, and just distribute the ball well, make good decisions, we're good to go. And I think the Niners will moving forward. I feel like this team is just really, really solid. And, you know, one guy we got to keep giving credit to is just Greasy. I feel like he's been a guy that's really helped out Jimmy. I mean, obviously we don't have evidence, but if he's playing better, to me, it tells me that he's kind of been learning from him. That's kind of my observation of the matters. But, we'll see how everything goes rest of the season. Going back to the Niners on defense, obviously Bosa, I think, is going to have a huge game because it's a primetime game. And he was just in his bag last week. I think he's going to continue to have one of those big primetime games. I think Fred Warner is going to have a big game. I also think Charvarius Ward has been quietly having a really good season. They don't throw to him because he's locked down. When they do throw to him, you're going to get pass deflected. He's got 9 pass breakups this year. I think this like top 5 in the league. The guy's a money guy. He's good. He's worth every cent they've paid him. Money well spent. So I like Charvarius. Hopefully he's good, though. Again, we just said, he did have a personal matter, but Kyle did say he should be back for Monday night. This is a guy we absolutely need out there on the field. He's been money, man. And again, the secondary's been a factor right now. We don't know who's going to be able to step up over these next couple of weeks, but they're going to have those young guys keep learning and keep growing. Diamondor Lenore, he's going to be starting out there like he has been, and then you got Jimmy Ward in the nickel. I want to see Jimmy at free safety, but I get it. They're going to try to put the best players out on the field. I want to see Jimmy keep hustling out there. But eventually, I do want to see them put Jimmy at safety again. So we'll see. Bosa 2 sacks. Ooh, let's hope he gets 2 sacks. Josh Allen and Rodgers, they got more mistakes than Jimmy this year. I'm saying. Aaron Rodgers, man. Packers, they are down tremendously. It's bad. Packers are looking really bad this year. It's unfortunate for them, but, not my problem. Sucks for them. Niners are definitely a team that, they started pretty slow, like the Packers last year, a lot of adversity. They were able to overcome it. Packers just can't overcome it. They've had a lot of injuries too, but hey, the Niners, they've had the same issues, and they were able to overcome it. So that's why I love this team, man. It's this Niner team. They just somehow find a way, man, to pull themselves out of a grave. It's like that Undertaker meme. All of a sudden, they just shoot right up, and they are buried. They are dead, and they come right back up for life. And it's just like, how did they? It's not going to be easy down the stretch, but I do think that the team is going on a roll. I still think they're going 11-6, but we'll see. Again, final score. So let me pick my final prediction here before we wrap it up. I'm going to say the 49ers win 34-24. I think it's a 10-point game. I think it's going to be 34-24. I kind of don't even want to say 24 because I feel like that's a lot of points for this defense to give up. And this defense is kind of they're good. I feel like 24 is too much, but I don't think that we're going to beat them like 31-7. I mean, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to change 31-17. That's my final score. 31-17. This team should be able to score 31 points. The offense, I think, is going to start clicking. I think you're going to get a Kittle touchdown. You're going to get an Aiyuk touchdown. It's going to be fun. I think defense is going to put a hurt on them. 31-17. I think 31-17. Let's get it. Jake, how's Jake doing, Deb? We talked yesterday. He was live with me before the game. After the game, he texted me. He says, season's over, my boy. He says it's over. But he says, congrats on hitting your hot take for the night. I called it. I said the 49ers, or I said Christian Watson would get 2 touchdowns last night. And he did. Yeah. 37-13, 31-14. I got 31-17. 30-21, says Randy. At the end of the day, as long as we win, let's get that done. But yeah, I hope the Niners get a big time game out of everybody and win. And you know what I also want to wish? That there's going to be no injuries. No injuries at all. Shade says, when does Debo show up? Playoffs? Hey, if he takes all season and waits for the playoffs and starts hitting the stride, I'll take it. I know he hasn't been really effective this year. There's a lot of weapons going around. I don't think he has that explosiveness this year. We talked about it all week. I feel like, training was limited this year because of, his whole contract situation. He was limiting his training, and it has affected him because Debo's definitely not that explosive as we've seen in the past. He's had some drops, unfortunately, but I think he'll put it together. He's just he's so talented. Debo's too good not to put it together. I think he'll definitely, find his stride soon. And I think Kyle has to figure out how to get all these guys integrated. It's a complex puzzle. I know we have great, all the weapons this team has, but now you got to figure out how to use it all, right? You got to figure out how to use it all. But yeah, if Debo doesn't have an all-pro season, but all of a sudden he steps in the playoffs and he just goes crazy, I'll be happy with it. If he's the reason we win the Super Bowl because he has a great playoff, but he has a mid regular season, take it, because nobody's going to remember he had a bad season if he's the reason they win a Super Bowl at the end of the day. It's a team. You got 53 players on the roster, and every single one of them is important, and all of them are going to do their part to help win this game. So, I know we want to see everybody that's a superstar have a superstar game. You know what I mean? Like, everybody wants to see Debo have 100 yards every game. Aiyuk have 100 yards. CMC have 100 yards. Kittle have 100 yards. Can't do it. We can't. It just doesn't happen. At some point, some guy's going to have to sacrifice their stats. And maybe all of them. Because there's so many mouths to feed. But as long as they move the ball down the field and they score, it doesn't matter who's scoring, as long as we win. And that's what matters. Niners just got to win, and they have a lot of good players to do so. So, again, final score, 31-17 Niners. They get this dub on Monday night. 3 straight games. Head into the next game against the Saints looking like the big bad wolves. And if the Niners win on Monday Night Football, they will be first place in the NFC West. Let's get it, baby. First place is ours for the taking. That's it. We got first place in the NFC West if the 49ers win this game. And then destiny is in our control. And they got to go out and win these games. And really, it's going to come down to that Seattle game if they want to win this NFC West. So we'll see what happens. But, again, I think the Niners win this game. First place after Monday. Let's go, baby. Devo says only people mad have them on their fantasy team. 100%, man. That's it. If you're a fantasy owner, you're pissed off that your players don't score points. But if you're a fan of the team, you win by any means necessary, baby. But guess what? It's time to put this show to rest. I love you guys. Make sure you hit that like button. I appreciate all the support, as always. Your boy, I love you. Go bang, bang, Niner gang. Wait, I got one more question. My man Miguel says, what's up, Raj? Love you, brother. Get ready for the graveyard shift. Hey, man, I love you, too. Have a good graveyard shift, man. Got to grind anytime you can, right? Graveyard, day shift, whatever you got to do. You got to put that work in. So respect you. My mom used to work graveyard for many, many years. I'm from Vegas. She used to work in casinos after she had like clothing businesses and stuff. But one year she just decided to shut all that down and work in the casinos. And she worked in the casinos for like 20 years. She used to work graveyard, man. That's a grind. I don't know how she did it, but she did it because she had to go out there and work and, put food on the table. So respect to my mom and respect to those graveyard workers. It's tough, man. But respect to you. All love you. Have a good night. Bang, bang. And again.